Hello, everyone. Welcome in umbraCoffee episode March 2025. I'm joined today by three awesome Umbraco MVPs and community members, Dean, Mike, and Carl. How are you doing, guys, today?
Hello, good.
Hey,
Marcin, good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. As my fellow barista, as I've mentioned to some of the guys, is brewing coffee and probably various other mystery drinks somewhere in Seattle, attending the MVP summit, a Microsoft MVP summit, and I don't know what about you guys, but I probably seen hundreds of people attending this event now, and I yes, of course I'm lost.
I think we're losing Marcin for a little bit.
Yeah.
Hello? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Probably. Huh.
Yeah, the Microsoft MVC Summit looks like it's a lot of fun out there.
I've been calling it MVC Summit all week.
Can you hear me, guys, now?
we can hear you, but your picture's a bit blurry. But yes, no, because Lottie's over there. I think Emma's over there. Obviously, Callum's over there. So there's a few MVPs.
Yeah, Rachel's over there as well, I think.
Is Rachel good? Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
Good that Rachel's over there as well. And there's a few others that I kind of know from the wider .NET community. So, yeah, it seems like a lot of effort is gone in by Microsoft to actually put in, like, that as big. I have no idea how many Microsoft MVPs there really are at somewhere like that, but I would imagine probably in the hundreds.
Yeah,
multiple hundreds over the world, because you consider it's not just .NET, it's also Azure, it's also Power Platform, it's also all their various stacks that they've got. So they'll have a lot of stuff out there for that kind of thing.
I should be back. Hopefully you can hear me again.
Welcome back, Marcin.
We've
been talking about the Microsoft MVPs.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got lost somewhere in the middle of my Wi-Fi networks. So yeah, I was going to say that it's kind of quite FOMO for me, at least every time when I see so many Microsoft MVPs and people who right now, again, around us as well, are turning Microsoft MVPs, because I don't know, a couple of years ago, probably there were one or two Microsoft MVPs amongst our community members, but now it's many. I won't be even trying to calculate all of them, but it seems like interesting opportunity to gather them all there. And we have similar opportunities right now in Umbraco community as well, so we can talk about it soon. But let's start, guys, from talking about some events. Maybe there was Umbraco Spark happening not that far away in time. Any of you attended? Carl, you were probably there or not?
I was speaking at Spark. Mike was there as well. We missed you, Dean.
Yeah, how was it? How was it?
Really good. Because they had a new venue this year, and I have to say, personally, I thought the new venue was a lot better. It was, rather than having two stages and kind of spread out, it was one stage, and then there was like a hacking room off to one side. The food was really good, but the layout was a really kind of welcoming stage. Everyone felt really close to the speaker. They had some awesome speakers, not just Umbraco, but kind of wide technology as well. It just felt a whole lot more kind of welcoming and inclusive this year. It felt much closer with engaging with everyone over there, and yeah, I personally really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was saying I think the approach for the hackathon, Steve's wild idea about the package-based hackathon, I think went down a tree. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I was genuinely surprised how many packages came out of that hackathon. It was really good to hear. I mean, I'm gutted I couldn't come to the hackathon itself, but just sort of seeing the output of people who've been working on new packages and who within the space of a day had basically turned around. There were 7, 8 kind of packages that were at a point where you could demonstrate something on stage and actually see something working, which is really cool.
Yeah, I feel like it. Sorry, Marcin.
No. I heard some opinions that it was reminding about this vibe from Code Garden back in the days when I wasn't also there, where there was a packages made for the package competition just within a day or just within the Code Garden itself. When then they were demoed on Friday. So it seems like even these days, even more is possible in a shorter amount of time, and that's probably the result of it as well.
Yeah. I think.
What about you, Mike? Your highlights from the event?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, for me, it probably was the packages. I mean, the overall venue, I think, like Carl said, was such a good space, and I think having that difference, it was different. It was definitely different, but in a good way. The talks were fantastic. Like, yeah, there were, and there was no worry about missing a talk either.
one stream, right? One set of talks.
Yeah, but they were also quite well chosen. I think there was a good range of topics that kind of came back because Joe talked about Luke talked about the new caching strategies with hybrid cache. Steve's so many good talks were there. Kevin Henney came, and Kevin was a guest speaker, and he talked about technical debt, and his talk at the start of it was really, really good. Many good talks.
Yeah. And we got Imran up on stage as well. Imran did a talk.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that.
I encouraged him to try and get it to Code Garden. I don't know if he did, but that was
he didn't. No, I was talking to him about that one. He wanted to submit to Spark, but he didn't want to submit to Code Garden. But I helped him, helped tweak his because he came to me for some help, and I was very happy to help. But he delivered such an awesome talk. So
yeah, and Luke's again, Brent. That was one that with the whole distributed cache stuff, it was a proper aha moment for me. Yeah, wonderful.
And he'll be at Code Garden too, I believe. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I think Lottie.
New faces.
So I was going to say Lottie posted all the packages. She posted it on LinkedIn, but I think the article's on Dev. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
I have it. I wanted to just open it and highlight it because that's exactly summarizing those 2 days.
Just to make me feel even worse about not going.
Same here, so you're not alone, Dean, at least with that. But it seems like, again, a lot happened then. And as seeing new faces, new people, and again, Imran's road to MVP started through the community activities. That's awesome to see. And yeah, as usual, it's like Spark seems to be sparking on the timeline of the events, and every year it's just keeping the high level of the event, and it wasn't different this year from what you are guys describing. And yeah, I tried to follow the releases on the packages and the marketplace, and there is a lot of things there also from the hackathon, and probably there will be more because people really motivated themselves to do cool, crazy work. And we have another event ahead of us, not that far away in time. And this week, Umbraco has released a schedule, the full program of Code Garden, the 20th anniversary of Code Garden this year. Guys, maybe let's start from your point of views. How many times you were attending Code Garden, and are you planning to go this year?
This will...
calculating now. Everyone
I had to think about this. I've been to one virtual one and 3 in person, so this will be my fifth Code Garden, I think. Which I have thoroughly enjoyed all the ones I've been to, and going along to the 20th, like just seeing it grow every year and the number of new faces turn up every year, because something like Spark is lovely, but because it's UK and it's also local to me because I live in Bristol as well, you do see a lot of people that you've seen before. I'm genuinely amazed that every Code Garden I've been to, there are so many faces that I've never seen before and never met before, which is great for the community. It just kind of means that it is growing every year. There are people out there who may not be as vocal as some of the rest of us in this call, who are as active a part of the community, but they're out there and they're doing good work. So,
yeah. Mike, what about you? Did you calculate the number?
I think I'm around. It's either 6 or 7.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
quite a few. I think the first one was back in 2016. I went to.
Probably the same.
It's always such. You always come away feeling obviously a little bit tired, socially exhausted, but it's such an inspiring event. Like I think you hit the nail on the head there, Carl. There's so many sort of inspiring and fascinating and amazing people that you get to reconnect with or meet for the first time, and that in itself makes going worth it for me personally. Like that is what makes me come back to Code Garden every year. It's the people. The talks are all they're a bonus. They're a plus. They're always fantastic. They're so good.
Has it changed much, Mike, since you first went? Has it changed at all as Umbraco's got bigger?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. It's just whether it's. I mean, I guess I was there the first year after it moved from Copenhagen.
From Copenhagen,
I never got to go to the Copenhagen ones, which sounded like their own special thing. And it's just, I think it's hard to say how it changed because it's it's not better or worse. It's just different, right? It's matured, I guess, is a thing we often hear. Some of the zaniness is still there. Some of the fun craziness is always going to be part of Code Garden because that's the Umbraco community, right? That's the spirit of it. But
at the same time, we approached the time when it was kind of predictable for the people who went for a couple of years. It was like quite expected results of it, right? So right now it might be a little bit different because I know also that Umbraco is doing something for this special 20th anniversary. So right now, even all of the people who can expect something can probably also be open for some surprises and differences. So, and again, it's not a pressure on Umbracos to change something, but it might be different. So we will see. And again, I agree with you, Mike, that it's not worse or better. It's just different, and that's really nice out of it. But I like one thing out of Code Garden every year when I'm there. It's like the whole city is living through this event. It's like you're walking through the city literally with the badge on your chest, and everyone is just not maybe everyone, but a lot of people are also attending the same event, and then you can talk with strangers, and there are no longer strangers, and that's a really nice thing. What about you, Dean?
One virtual and one in person.
So the last one was your first one in person.
It's my first Code Garden. Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
And did it meet your expectations then and your vision?
Exceeded. Yeah, it was. I mean, I love meetups and conferences anyway, and the bit I enjoy the most, I think, is meeting people that you've already engaged with online. I know that. I don't know if that's the same for everybody, but it's a really nice feeling when you meet somebody in person who you may have been speaking to for the last 5 years only online. There's something really nice about that. But yeah, it was incredible, and the talks were great. The hackathon was great. The socializing parts were great. And even just having a walk around the dents as well was like, it's a lovely atmosphere. So it's something quite special about it, definitely.
Yeah. There's always that delightful experience you get when you get off the plane and you're working out, where you get a train, and you're standing there looking at the train times or walking to the passport control, and you look around and go, oh, I know you, and then that happens throughout the whole week to the point where you leave. It's great.
Yeah,
well, I actually travelled with Umbraco royalty, so I was on the plane with Ravi, Warren, and Paul Seal. So I was in good hands, I think.
Yeah. Probably we will live to the times when there will be chartered planes from some places, with just Russians attending. But that's always crazy. And I do remember one year when it was some kind of delays of trains and something like that, and everyone was chatting. Hey, are you also delayed? Did you capture the train? Is your train cancelled? And a lot of that.
Last year on the way home, the bridges were closed because they were having a road race, a bike race over the bridge. So we had to all jump into cars because that threw everything into chaos. And yeah, they put on replacement bus services, and the queues for the buses were 200 meters long, and everyone had to jump back to get into trains. So that was.
I would have got lost in the station as well, but I bumped into Carl and Laura as well. So yeah, very small world on the way to Code Garden.
But yeah, let's talk about the program then, because of course this week it was announced. So we know everything right now, and maybe in the relation to our future topic around the MVP program, this year for the first time there's also MVP Summit that is organized by Umbraco as an invite-only event for MVPs, and it's happening from Monday through networking event. Then on Tuesday, there is continuation of the summit that is transitioning into Umbraco Business Summit for a lot of people, and a lot of business people who are also often attending just the business part and are not so usually interested in the technicalities or talks and more developer related content of the event that starts from Wednesday. And yeah, we have all of the talks right now announced. I must admit, I didn't went through all of them yet, but I just realized that I can't remember. It was 270 submissions or even more. I got the information from Mary Lou, and let me just quickly confirm that I have it somewhere open. How many contributors? It was 270 session submissions. Wow. Were submitted. So yeah, I was quite not so disappointed with rejections that I received on my inbox. It's usually like this.
Definitely getting harder and harder with the quality and the range of the topics that are being talked about at Code Garden. That's definitely, I'd say that's one thing that's improved over the years for me, because previously I'd say probably 70, 80, 90% of the talks were Umbraco topics and kind of core Umbraco topics, or things we've done with Umbraco. But now you're getting kind of adjacent topics or architecture topics, or talks about open source exploit. The one you just highlighted, the David Whitney's talk about open source exploitation, and the kind of big ideas are being talked about a lot more at Code Garden, which is great, because it's being it's bringing more people, more audience along to Code Garden.
Also refreshing yoga with the CEO. Exactly, refreshing yoga with the CEO. So there's a lot of interesting sessions.
Sold out.
It's now been nicknamed Yoga Mats, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, not mine. And the day after, he has an interview run also by Emma. So yeah, there is a lot of interesting talks, and of course, as usual, it will be challenging really to choose the right ones. But at the same time, that's the beauty of this kind of events, because it's everyone can find something for themselves, and yeah, it's a mixture of Umbraco topics plus everything surrounding low code, no code as well, a lot of other things. So yeah, it's looking awesome. And yeah, Friday will be also with some sessions and more like a workshop kind of topics and discussions, and also drop-in hackathon will be happening at the event venue. So really looking forward to it, and it seems like it will be an interesting event. And yeah, we talked about the MVP summit. So are you guys planning to go? What are your current plans for the week of Code Garden this year?
Yeah, I'm hoping to go. I'm hoping to go to the MVP summit. I've signed up for it, so all I need to do is make sure that plans kind of fall into place. But this will be my first MVP summit. Well, this is the first MVP summit. So, but I haven't been to any of the previous summits pre Code Garden before. All my previous Code Gardens, I've just turned up for the actual Code Garden itself. So I'm very excited to be making a whole week of it this year. But yeah, it sounds really interesting. And are you we think of coming along, Mike, too?
Yeah, I've got my hotel booked so far. That's about it. But I will be getting everything else booked soon. Before I get that first thing sorted first. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I was very lucky enough to I think it was back in 2018 2019, it was quite a while ago. I was invited to one of the retreats before Code Garden that used to happen, and that was an amazing experience. That was, well, I was fairly sort of fresh to the community, fresh to everything, and it was that was one of those Star Trek moments where you turn up and you go, oh damn, you're sat with Neil sat with all the big sort of big names in Umbraco at the time, and you sort of go, am I should I be here? Am I here? But you learn so much, and you get to. It was a wonderful location. We got to do a lot of fun things. We got to, make more friends, closer connections. We got to work on some interesting stuff. It was kind of like we had this sort of mini hackathon over a day or two, where we sort of bring up ideas and we work on them, get into teams. And I'm curious to see, how the new MVP Summit sort of format will work.
And there's still a video that we live streamed from there with Callum. That is called the Demystifying Umbraco Retreat. We are literally walking with our phone and live streaming from this event, and that was also my highlight. I do also remember our refreshing swimming sessions in the cold lake in the mornings. That was quite fun, and then again inspiring. And so again, having so many like-minded people in one place always needs to result in something interesting. So I'm really looking forward to this. I won't be attending this year's MVP Summit because I will be attending Justin Timberlake's concert on Tuesday that my wife arranged for us. So I will be crying Me a River instead. But yeah, I will join Code Garden from Wednesday onwards, and I do hope to hear a lot from highlights from this event from many MVPs, guys.
On the topic of morning as well.
Exactly.
I'm definitely going to be bringing that back to Code Garden next year. I'll try and make it a bit more of a bigger thing, so we can get some more swimmers in the morning.
And Dean, are you planning to go this year for the second Code Garden?
I've got my ticket booked. I'm still waiting on surgery since December, so unfortunately this is our NHS over here. But ticket booked for Code Garden, and
fingers crossed.
Definitely want to go to the MVP Summit. I just noticed Andy Boot said he's flying out on Sunday, and Hugh Reddick as well. So it would be really lovely to make a week of it. I think it'd be fantastic. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And then let's talk about MVPs, because I wanted to use this episode as a deadline for myself and reminder to submit all the activities. And I made it this week, so that's cool. But yeah, we have a pretty nice, evolved, I would say, MVP program too, that again transitioned into something bigger than just a selection of MVPs done by anonymous group of Umbraco HQ members, as it was done in the past. So now it's more structured. There's submissions, there are nominations, everyone can nominate. Nominations are already closed, so that's why I won't bring this as a call to action. But yeah, how do you guys see MVP program from your perspective? Of course, besides MVP Summit, that is a new point on the agenda now. Did you use the benefits out of the program? How was your road to MVP? And again, Dean, we will highlight your beautiful and amazing article about the story. How do you guys feel like an MVPs at the moment? Maybe let's start from you, Dean, then, because you had a really nice story.
Well, purely from the, what's it like being an MVP and all the rest of it. I got turned down for the first one. I got nominated. I didn't really understand how it all worked. And I thought, somebody's nominated me. That's it. That's all you have to do. And then I was told that, you have to say, what have you done for Umbraco lately, kind of thing. And it just felt very embarrassing and alien, to be quite honest, sort of boasting about things that you'd done for no other reason than you actually wanted to do them, if that makes sense. Like the things that you do for the community, I don't think anybody is doing them for recognition. They're doing it, I can see, Cole shaking his head. We all do it because we love Umbraco, we love helping each other. I'm always reminded, and I never can remember who said it, but one teaches to learn. I don't know if you've heard that expression before. I love that expression, and I think knowledge sharing is amazing. If you do it with an open mind, it's really, really rewarding. You get a great feeling from knowledge sharing anyway, and then when obviously you need help and other people help you, that's also a fantastic feeling to be a part of a community that's willing to help you with problems rather than keeping, you know, trade secrets to themselves kind of thing. It's just so the opposite of that. So that's what that's what the whole MVP thing means to me, that it's a recognition of people that are willing to knowledge share and get involved. And going to my article, Marcin, that article really, if I was to sum it up in a sentence, is, you know, don't wait to get involved in communities. I can't believe it took me about 10 years or whatever to go to my first meetup and conference, because I was worried that I'd turn up and people would think, you know, what on earth is he talking about? And then you realise nobody knows what they're talking about. No, I'm kidding. But you know, it's I just wished I hadn't put it. If I've got a regret, it's just really what that article is about. Is just go and get involved. If you've built something and you're really proud of it, share it. And I ended up. I mean, again, the article sort of highlights the fact that I ended up running a meetup, and I was inspired to do that because I was going to meetups all over the country and there were none where I lived. And I was offered the opportunity to take over a meetup that was kind of slowing down kind of thing. And oddly enough, I went to that same meetup last night. We've rebooted it. 2 months ago, there were 5 of us down the pub. Last night, there were 35 people.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I mean, everything about it. So the MVP thing, I guess the award and everything is kind of secondary to what it means to me. What it means to me is just being part of this community, which is really rewarding in and of itself.
It really is, and 100% agree. You know, the thing you said about getting involved and getting yourself out there. You know, I've been in tech for longer than I care to admit. It's 20 something years now I've been doing it, and it's only really the last 4 or 5 years that I felt, that I wanted to get out there and start doing meetup talks. You know, the pandemic happened, and that kind of kickstarted a lot of it for me, and for a lot of us, we were sat around doing a lot of nothing, and you go and you explore something new, and just that process of finding something new, going out there, sharing it, that comes back to you many fold. I can remember a couple of years ago we had Scott Hanselman come in and do the end keynote, and one of the things that he said at that particular talk was, share your knowledge. It comes back amplified. I don't know, I'm paraphrasing the exact quote over here, but whatever you put out there comes back to you amplified. It comes back to you through other people's ideas and through other people's filters. People take, you could build a small thing and put it out there, and people can take that and build something else and create something else out there. And that's the feeling of kind of satisfaction you get from that. Because like you, Dean, I'm maybe not like you, but I don't know about anybody else, but I totally have no idea what I'm doing. I feel like I've been pretending for 20 years that I've had a career in tech, and no one's figured it out so far. So the fact that my career has still managed to keep me fairly actively employed and quite busy is a constant surprise to me.
Yeah.
But
I have the same, Carl. I have the same. Everyone has the same. But I was having one question, because that's something what is interesting. Do you imagine being a part of tech without everything what we have from Umbraco community at the moment?
It's
because I know people who are just going to work, coding whatever they are either told or wanting to do, and coming back home, and at the same. But at the same time, I was thinking about that recently, because that gives me joy. and that keeps me like willing to do what I do, because if I would just doing it, probably I wouldn't have joy.
I absolutely can see that I probably would have fallen away because, I've worked remotely for about 12 years now. I've not actually worked in an office myself. So actually being involved in communities is my only engagement with peers. It's my only kind of opportunity. I work with teams and we have calls and we have ideas and stuff like that, but some of the exchanges that you can only really get in person, I only get through community events. I also run a meetup in Bristol, so that helps me with the same kind of thing, similar to Dean when he was involved in his meetups. That kind of going to places and meeting people. But I only got involved with that after the Umbraco community. So the Umbraco community was kind of my introduction to being involved in these kind of wider communities, and the stuff I got back just from the Umbraco community was so great that I thought, cool, I can do more of this. I can do something else somewhere else, and I'm going to go beyond just Umbraco and start doing .NET stuff, start doing conferences, and since then I've been involved with running a meetup for 2.5 years and helping a local conference in the Southwest for the last 2 years, which has been really good. But without the community side of things kind of feeding back to me, it's very easy sat on your own. For me, I can see myself will have gotten disillusioned with this, it's just doing the same thing, not finding new stuff, not engaging with people. I can very easily have seen myself not continuing so long in this field. But the fact that it's new, and every time you kind of go to one of these things, you come back with ideas, you come back with inspiration for what other people have done out there. You just come back energized, I think. So, no, yeah.
I'd like to add as well. It's much bigger than Umbraco. The whole web community is like this, and I'm attending State of the Browser tomorrow at the Barbican. It's run by London Web Standards, and most of the people that are involved in it have been involved in web from day one. These are people that helped formulate web standards and are still fighting to keep them today. But I always, again, similar to Cole, I know we always talk about imposter syndrome, but I don't know about you, but in front of clients and generally day-to-day work, I feel fairly confident in what I'm doing. But the fear of going to a conference or a meetup was what I've coined as peer fear. That
the peer thing is so much bigger than people who,
it's ridiculous that, I feel silly for worrying about it after meeting people that I've looked up to for so long, and they're just like us, we're all in the same boat. So I can't say enough about getting involved in communities, and I don't judge people that don't want to and just want to work 9 to 5 and go home to their family and do their hobbies and all the rest of it. That's cool as well. Why not? You don't have to do that. But same as you, Carl, I've worked from home for 20 odd years, so going to events is, I know it's like a busman's holiday, but it's still, for me, it's so rewarding.
Love it.
I think,
Mike, how it all started for you then?
For me, well, funnily enough, when I used to work at my old moral agency before I went out on my own, I was, I think a few of my manager at the time, Calvin, there was a JavaScript meetup or front-end developer meetup in London called Front End London. And we went to a couple of events, and that used to be always a lot of fun. We used to go there. And then one year, Director Time suggested we go to Code Garden. That was the first sort of real experience of a community, I guess, in tech. And that was the big, that 2016 first Code Garden was a massive eye-opener for me of really, like you say, understanding what it really means to have a community within an industry or anything. It doesn't have to just be tech. It could be, I've been in small clubs and communities before, but the scale of it was very different. And I sort of fell into it very, very quickly. And from that, I similar to what Dean and Carl have done as well, and yourself, Marcin. I got back and I thought, well, I want this more at home. So I myself, I started a front end meetup. I started the Kent meetup for Umbraco. I started running a code school for a bit, just because I think there's an infectious quality that, and I think all of us, and I imagine other people in the community will understand it, is we get incredibly enthused by and energized by helping other people succeed and seeing other people flourish. And we all get a lot of value from that, and that knowledge sharing and that encouragement. And the first talk I did at the UK festival how many years ago, I remember going just after how was it? Name skips for the time being. But I'm just saying, no one here is wanting you to fail. No one wants you to fail in this. Everyone is here to encourage you, to help you out. And that imposter syndrome that is inherent within our career, because it is ever evolving. No one can ever be up to date. You're just constantly striving. You don't ever get past that imposter syndrome. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think the moment that goes away is when you start sort of not necessarily falling behind, but it's just what happens, right? So having that feeling, it's just part of the work. We get to do our job. We're very lucky in this situation that our problem solving nature of what we do is addictive, right? We love it. You get that little endorphin rush, whether it's a small problem or a big problem. We get to do that day on day on day on, and that is an incredibly lucky position to be in. That's why a lot of us will do our 9 to 5 or whatever, and you get home and you try to go to sleep. Your brain might be ticking away on this problem that you couldn't finish solving. And we're lucky. Some people have to go to do their job. I think a lot of us in this industry get to do our job, and there is a difference there, and it's a very lucky place to be. Expanding that experience and seeing how other people also have that shared experience within the community just helps. The shared experience is so important. And
I just remembered, Mike, you actually came and spoke at our meetup in March 2019. Responsible Animations. Yeah, I just sent Marcin a link.
I have slacked the day with him.
I'd forgotten that seems so long ago now. Wow.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID.
No, I think it's fantastic. I know we probably branched off from what it means to be an MVP, but I think the MVP is almost secondary, right? It's just look at that young face.
That's so funny.
I think
that was a great talk as well. That was a really good talk.
I think that was
that's fun. But I do remember the same from my history. I went for the first meetup without knowing what is meetup. And then I turned out talking about what I did in my work yesterday, and it was awesome because it was sounding awesome for someone else, not just for me. And that's how it all started. And at the same time, I think it's important for everyone to know that something like this is happening, because again, I do agree with you, Dean, that it's not for everyone. It's not everyone wants to go out, not everyone wants to speak up and stuff like that. But at the same time, without knowing if it's for you or not, it's really hard, because I was building Umbraco websites for a couple of years without knowing that there is anyone else doing the same. So that was funny to realize then at the same code garden probably as you, Mike, that, there are a lot of people who are building this and they are talking to each other. They have problems similar to mine, and I'm not alone with all of that. So there's a lot of...
On that, the fact that this community of ours, it feels very local sometimes. It feels like, we're all just, we're going to see old friends, which is absolutely fabulous. But there's such a huge, wider community out there that we don't necessarily know about. And one of the great things about encouraging new people to kind of come along and get involved and speak at these events is that it then that one teaches to learn thing that shares so much more. Sorry, it brings more people to the front, and seeing representation, it is so important for a community. And we're all men in this panel, but there are so many awesome, fantastic women speakers. There are so many speakers from all over the world who work with Umbraco in India, in the Middle East, in South America. These communities are there. They're all kind of just budding communities right now. Almost, we are of course European centric because that's where Umbraco kind of came from. But already now, Australia's got a growing community. They've got it's new stuff happening like pretty soon right now. The Down Under Festival, this global community that we're having is all over the world, and the more new people that we bring, the more representation that we bring, sort of, to encourage other people to come along. That will then have a kind of magnifying effect of seeing someone who you think, oh, if they can do it, I can do it too. Just grows everything for the community. It brings so much more to it.
I would add to that, Carl, as well. So again, one of the first Umbraco talk I saw wasn't at an Umbraco event. It was at .York, and it was James Young, who still runs Cutting Edge Knives, I think, and that was the website that they built using Umbraco at the time. I think one of the things that it would be good for the Umbraco community is to start speaking at other events. Yeah. I think it would be really good for. Look, we want to share how fantastic Umbraco is. I've done a talk a month ago, just messing around with Astro and HMX at our local meetup, and it was quite shocking how many people were immediately interested in Umbraco. 2 people turned up to find out more about Umbraco. A few people turned up to find out more about Astro, but it's that's how it goes. But that's one of the things I think it would be really useful for the community to branch out a bit. I suppose if there was, I don't want to call it a negative, but if there was one, I guess it's that the joke about it.
But it is happening. It is happening for sure. And also those DDD events, those other conferences where more Umbraco people are being exposed. Also Emma and Lottie, if I'm correct, they both were highlighted on the .NET live streams that were streamed across the .NET communities. I even did a small roadshow through the .NET groups in Poland a while ago, and I was surprised how many of .NET developers don't even know or didn't even hear about Umbraco at all, right? So that's crazy, and I do agree with you that we need to do that more often. And again, starting somewhere, and again, if it's not something interesting for us, that's awesome. Let's move on, do something else. But that's worth starting. And Sebastian last week, funny enough, brought back something what I completely abandoned, and we did something similar with Callum back in the days when we were working together, and it was highlighting all of the Umbraco events, and now it's up and running. It's called umbracalendar.com, and it has all of the events Umbraco on the nice timeline. So right now, again, if we can turn out our discussion and our exchange of knowledge to something actionable, everyone can just go here, check out any events nearby in the time or location, and just try to attend, either in person or virtual. That's awesome, especially after COVID, that we have choice and options now, and even with our streams or other virtual events. That's how it's done this time, and everyone can find something interesting for them. And then all the MVPs can submit their activities, and we have the topic wrap up. I will make sure that all of the links, and one more link regarding events. Code Cabin also opened their registration for 2025 this week, if I'm correct.
Code Cabin is so good.
Yeah, I think that's another point of the agenda. Different type of the event, different type of the vibe, but at the same time, same awesome people and same awesome opportunity to exchange the knowledge and spend time in such a lovely atmosphere, right? applications are open, and they are open until 10th of July. So in theory, again, plenty of time, but reality shows that the time flies so fast that it's better to submit as early as possible, and yeah, let the team behind the event worried about the selections as every year. Guys, I will highlight all of the blogs, all of the script articles. I found even mine old one about the MVP, so I will definitely put it on the agenda, and we can bring more discussions about the MVPs, and hopefully after the Code Garden this year, I'm happy to introduce as many new MVPs to exchange their point of views on their road to or with the MVP title, and we can definitely talk it from there. I closed some links. I had two more topics from Umbraco point of view to just highlight quickly, and then we can talk about new releases, because there are a couple of the releases to walk through. One topic is not that fun to talk, but interesting always to bring up, security advisory. So I hope you all patched your websites already, but on March 11 there was another advisory, some minor moderate and high severity issue to some of the Umbraco dependencies that were patched. And yeah, as usual, there is some story behind, some information being shared, but most important thing is that patch your website and make it secure. A second update from this month was the sustainability team reassemble, because there was some update. It's still not possible to submit. The deadline will no, the deadline is still up. I don't know why, but I thought that we are already in April. But but if it seems like it's not behind the deadline yet. So for all the people who are deadline oriented as myself, the deadline is still here. Everyone can apply still and join the sustainability team to help Umbraco and the community and us all to get more out of it. And the team was already assembled, or there's a new team? I can't even remember. There was a team already working on the sustainability, and this is the addition to the team now. So yeah. And the efforts were here, and the team was doing a lot of the dashboard was done also by the team members here, and yeah, looking forward to some additions and new things from the new team members out there too. Did any of you guys apply it? Maybe.
I haven't. No.
No, I'm already involved in a couple of community teams, so I think it's.
That's
I've
true.
got plenty of stuff on my plate.
That's true.
But at the same time, like the work that the sustainability team does is so important. I mean, the industry that we're in is now. I'm not sure the exact stats, but we've got to be up there with contributors towards carbon emissions and energy use, especially with the number of data centers and with AI happening. That's set to increase over the next few years anyway. So if we don't start, if we're not already talking about sustainability, we should be with everything that we're doing. So it's absolutely fantastic that there is sustainability as such a central core of the community and from HQ as well.
Yeah, I did really enjoy the talk on UK Festival this last year from Green Software Foundation, and about all of this impact framework and all the activities and ideas that they want to do to measure it better. I'm really looking forward to it because I was completely unaware of
a great
the consequences.
Talk, yeah.
That was awesome, and yeah, we'll see. I hope that a lot of interesting inputs will be brought to the attention, because Umbraco was one of the first ones, at least from what I was exposed to, tools that really started talking about it. And it's still quite a fresh topic. A lot of people are still kind of intentionally or unintentionally ignoring it, but it seems to be more and more important. So yeah, let's see. And again, if anyone here or watching is willing to contribute and give something as an input to the team, please submit your application and let Umbraco consider that.
And just to add to that, similar to the whole imposter phenomenon thing, don't think that because you don't think you don't know enough about sustainable, just because you're not a leader in the field, that you can't contribute meaningfully towards these community teams. So much of the good ideas just come from conversations around people in all areas of work.
100% Cole.
You just because you don't feel necessarily that you might contribute, still, if you're interested, if this is something important to you and you've got the capacity and the energy to do it, I would absolutely encourage anyone to do it.
Yeah, I think go Mike.
So there can be really good opportunities to learn as well. Like your opinion matters.
I was going to say that sometimes it's just time that is needed and dedication, because if someone is willing to just give the attention and time to support someone else, there is always something to be done, and effective delegation can happen even within the team, and yeah, everyone can help. It's really a matter of willingness and being available in a lot of the cases. So yeah, that's the call to action, still open. There was a new issue on Script, of course, this month as well. This time about neurodiversity, and also a nice blog from Andy about his leadership and his story. I won't be spoiling a lot. Please take a look if you haven't yet. But it's a really nice story of Andy and his activity, and how it was kind of born, and where Andy ended so far, at least on his career. So definitely check it out. And I realized then when I was preparing that you both guys were writing for the previous one. So now I have you guys to highlighting your stories. Yeah. So that's great. And that's another contribution that you give to the community. But yeah, for all the people who missed the previous one and previous ones as well, there's a lot of articles to catch up with. So be sure to check it out. Quickly, Umbraco releases. There were a couple of them in the recent times, starting from 15.3 being released this week, last week on March 20th. And a couple of minor or patch releases for version 14 and 13. I'm really looking forward to Umbraco 13.8, because I realized yesterday or the day before that there are some pretty cool APIs for rebuilding content and republishing content that will be. I don't know if you guys had this issue, but I did very hard recently, because I needed to republish all of the pages, but also those who have no changes applied. And if you republish all at the moment, it's not happening. They're not republishing all, right? And now there is a hidden API that is not anywhere in the UI available, because that was a decision made by Umbraco that to not expose it via UI, but it will be possible to be used as a method. So I'm looking forward to it, because the times where I manually republish all of the pages are probably going to be over. So, yeah, that's my highlight of the Umbraco releases, but there's a lot of interesting things being involved.
In 15, I think, I might be wrong, I hope not, but there's copyable blocks at last, I think, unless anyone corrects me.
Yeah, but that's again, I'm intentionally avoiding 15 still. So yeah, maybe at some point I'll be checking, but I follow the updates, and it seems like it's a lot of really great stuff already there, and we will be starting some first migrations or updates soon. So fingers crossed for making it smooth. A couple of the packages that I wanted to highlight quickly. One that brought my attention, confirm if you guys already checked that as well. It's Umbraco Headless Forms package. I asked my teammates and people who worked with Umbraco Forms through the Headless APIs to do something similar, but they were not determined enough yet to release it, but someone was. and finally we have a library that allows us to work with Umbraco Forms through the Headless APIs with all the fields and some of the classes and some other crazy stuff there as well. Seems to be a really nice add-on and help for building anything headless related with forms. So I wanted to really highlight that. today, because it was released 5 days ago, or updated 5 days ago with the 1.1 version at least. So yeah, looking forward to using it. And a couple of other packages. Genie, Umbraco Genie. I don't know if you saw it, guys. But it brings, of course, the some of the AI capabilities to Umbraco back office with some of the where it was it on screenshots or not? Yes, some abilities to regenerate, paraphrase, edit text straight from Umbraco properties levels, and also extending the RTE with the same capabilities from various models. Seems to be a nice genie as well for an extension of the CMS capabilities with AI and everything what AI can offer. And from yesterday, ChatGPT also has this beautiful image generation, really powerful model to generate plenty of crazy stuff on images based on the prompt. So I'm looking forward to what can be done on the editorials level with the powers of various genes here. And last but not least, some cool packages. A small package that allows to bring probably a lot of smiles on faces. John released the dad jokes extension that adds an image of a dad to the header. When it's clicked, it opens a model containing a dad joke. I'm sure Adam Shallcross will approve. As a huge fan of dad jokes. So yeah, I hope that it will be heavily used amongst that back. That's the packages. I don't know if I can hear you guys. Can anyone say something? Because
testing. Can you hear us?
Of course I can't hear you. Yeah. So.
Oh, we've lost Marcin again.
I will switch to my monitor. Give me a second.
Just on the new packages coming out, 15.
Now?
It's awesome that there are so many new ones coming out. I mean, I've not had as much time to play.
StreamYard is making me really struggle today.
Marcin's just chatting away over us.
I think I saw Georgina Bidder made a Lorem Ipsum.
I will leave the stage for you guys. Maybe you can share something about the packages.
Yeah. we were, Marcin. We were.
I was going to say, I think there's that learning curve of learning the new sort of new way of building packages, and with the new extension course coming out, I think that learning curve is people starting to go on it. They're starting to understand, okay, so it is a new paradigm, but once you actually figure it out, it's actually really nice. Like it will make things, there'll be more complicated things, more easier things, but the consistent way of doing it. The other MVP as well from the Spark hackathon has to be Lossie's opinionated package starter script. That hands down was, if you want to make a package, use it. It's fantastic. Like, well done to Lossie and everyone else who got involved with that. That's a fantastic.
I think that was a continuation from Warren's work, going all the way back to last Code Garden, which was a PowerShell script.
Laptops and too many devices to use.
Poor Marcin. I had to play with an earlier version of the opinionated package starter kit because Lottie's had.
I need to rejoin. Give me a second.
Now. But with V15, it looks like it's definitely come along quite a lot. So I'm looking forward to. I've got some time set aside in April to have a play with it.
I'm going to be working with the idea I had for my package. I think me and Rich Huckabee are going to be having a little play around with that between now and Code Garden. See if we can get
I saw your hackathon package looked really good. Is the email logo, isn't it? Was that the one?
So that was Rich's. Mine was around improving the rollback functionality.
That's right. Yeah, sorry.
That's right.
Yeah. Cool. I'm back. I will need to rewatch the parts where I was away. I'm so glad it stays on YouTube then. So that's great.
No.
Sorry for that. I don't know what is happening with my computers today, but I'm happy that it's Friday, so I won't be bothering too much about it today. So that jokes package was the last thing that I mentioned. A couple of the blogs that I will highlight quickly. Personalization blog series. It will be a series. It's part 1 on how to use personalization with, again, Umbraco tools and some other external platforms as well, and for what it can be used. I still believe that it's a topic that needs more explanations and more use cases, I think, because everyone wants to use personalization, but no one can easily talk for what and why. I think it's worth.
I've been building sites with personalization from clients for 5-6 years now, and anytime you get a big site, that's a big request that they always have.
Yeah.
And you build all these tools for your clients, and then you come back like 12 months later, and they haven't touched any of them, and they haven't used any of them. We spent a lot of effort writing this, guys. Come on.
Exactly.
It's one of those things that you have to really understand. But at the same time, if you understand it well and if you apply it well, and it takes time, like you can't just do an A/B test, choose some content and then in 2 weeks see results. You have to run these experiments for lengths of time, and you have to actually consider the kind of content, and you've got to consider the voice that you're using. You've got to consider your audience, and that stuff has to run for a reasonable amount of time with a reasonable amount of throughput. It also changes over time. So
I think Laura done a really good talk at UK Fest and exemplified how very quickly it becomes very complex.
Exactly.
I think that's probably the reason that you build stuff and then people don't use it, because they ask for way more than they've got the time to use, really.
Really, it seems like it will be a nice series, and let's follow that one, and for sure we will educate ourselves and hopefully our clients as well on for what and if they need it, and how to build it effectively. There was one more blog that I wanted to highlight from Corne about successful Umbraco update. That was
great.
Awesome. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are the times of upgrading 8 to 13 over? Because we are probably done with all of the projects now.
No.
Not for you.
8 to 13 sites. Yeah.
Virtual hug then to you guys, because it's been.
But Corne's one uses the Umbraco deploy, doesn't it? So which I've not actually had a chance to play with yet. So it looks really good. But all the upgrades I've done have been self-hosted ones. So we're not using deploy. We're just doing it the old-fashioned way.
I will always share massive kudos to Kevin Jump for whatever helped me with using migrations and using in general on this process, because I would probably die trying to reestablish this content. And how many migrators I wrote in the recent times, I would probably have dreams about some of them, and some JSON being transformed into various other JSONs. But yeah, it seems like there. Yeah?
I was going to say, Andy Boots mentioned in the chat that he's going to do his first meetup talk next week, upgrading 8 to 15 in 30 minutes.
In 30 minutes.
Terrifying.
Wow.
We're going to smash
it. Where is
that one? I hope our clients won't be attending, because it definitely took a little bit more than 30 minutes in some of the cases. So so that's the nice story. And I haven't seen this. I haven't seen so many success stories being shared, so it's really worth to talk about it more. Then there was one really nice blog highlighted by Matt in his UMB FYI from Nathaniel about contributing to Umbraco from scratch. I haven't seen this for so many times, because we talked about small contributions and any kind of contributions, right? So I think it's important to, again, remember us all that it all starts from something small, and it doesn't need to be really a rocket science contribution or a rewritten engine for MVC, whatever. It might be just a type of fix or time to test something. And Nathaniel here described the whole process from 0 to the first PR and bug being fixed. So I really want to highlight this kind of activity too. And a couple of final things. One was the webinar that Umbraco was streaming with the title "How to Choose the Right CMS for the Organization." and it was streamed by Umbraco, so it's not Umbraco always the answer. I've watched some of it, but it seems to be a really nice discussion, arguments for what CMS is for, how to choose it, how to, again, not get lost into the decision. So I think it's worth to spread it out, because it was streamed 2 weeks ago and worth rewatching. And two more. One, a vibe coding session from Soren and Callum. As a vibe coding becomes more popular, I think it was a really nice short session and short reflection of how quickly build something cool and useful. And be sure to check it out. Just I won't spoil too much, but it seems to be really nifty tool generated and built on the fly. And final one on my agenda list is a profile from March, Carl, who was brought to attention already today by someone here, and his story of contribution, activity, and everything else Umbraco related and tech related from also Bristol meetups and various other contributions. Be sure to check it out and say high five to Carl for his activities as soon as you will be able to see him anywhere. And I'm sure it will be sooner than later, because he is quite active amongst various events. And yeah, that's definitely worth understood uProfile nomination and award. And that's all from my agenda. I hope it was seen and heard, and my microphones and cameras won't play with me anymore today. Guys, is there anything that you would like to add to today's discussion? Any call to actions from your side? Any reminders for anyone or yourself as well?
Go to meetups, go to events, go out.
Go to meetups, yeah.
Get involved in the community. Honestly, it's so rewarding. You'll thank your future self will thank you.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good call to action, I think.
Yeah. The only mini plug I've got is Umbraco Accessibility Awareness Day. Brad will be returning this year. We'll plan a session next week to sort of start working out what we'll be doing, but that'll be coming back on May 15th.
Nice.
So pop in the diary. No information yet, but it'll be a slightly different format from previous years, if you think. Just switch it up. But yeah, looking forward to that.
Excellent. Well, on that note, if you're in or around the Southwest or able to get to the Southwest on the 26th of April, DDD Southwest is happening, and tickets will be released in a couple of days' time, in fact. So early next week, we'll be releasing tickets. It's a completely free event. It happens on a Saturday. There are 4 tracks, something like 26 talks, 26 different speakers coming from all over the place. So we've got a great lineup this year. Looking forward to seeing a few people over there that we are familiar faces. So DDD Southwest, check it out.
I will be making sure that those 2 links will land also in the episode description. So for everyone who is watching or rewatching us at any part of the time in between of now and then, be sure to check it out, click through and secure the spots if you're around. And if not, again, be sure to check out the Umbraco events, Umbraco calendar, and various other places where anything interesting is happening around you, not only Umbraco related, but tech related. And yeah, share your knowledge, join the events, and let us know also if there's anything interesting that you would like to share, and join us in the community activity to, again, be active and join. Dean rejoined. Now it's on Dean. Now it's not me. Yeah, that's fair now. I hope Dean will join us before we will leave the stream. But hey, guys, again, thanks very much for joining me today. It was an amazing discussion. I'm always inspired by all of the stories from the community, and it's such an amazing story behind all of you guys and all of your activities and contributions. So I'm so happy that you were able to share more about it today. And yeah, hope to see you sooner than later. And yeah. Have a lovely rest of your day and the weekend ahead of you. And Dean, you're back before we will leave.
Don't know what happened there.
Yeah, amazing. So yeah, thanks guys again. Thanks everyone who were watching. And yeah, speak to you. See you soon.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers,
everyone.
Bye, Mike. Bye, Cole.
Bye.